We're here in the garage today. It's raining out, 29th day of April. Finally bought a Cultipacker. These Cultipackers, they're pretty pricey. You gotta shop around. Looked to me like your $500 is going to be about, if it's worth anything, that's probably about what you're going to have to spend. So we bought this last night for 500 bucks. It's got an old oak or Osage orange hitch on it. Probably was pulled by horses. They reconditioned the Cultipacker, all the bushings and stuff. But I'm going to take this off and convert it into a 3-point hitch. I took this off an old blade I had a few years ago. And we're going to convert this from this tongue, which a tongue Cultipacker is a bad one unless you got a small four-wheeler, because you get into some of those food plots and you're not going to be able to turn around without hitting the tongue. Like I say, the fellow said they reconditioned the Cultipacker. The bearings are all good in it, so that's basically, we're going to get rid of all this front junk. It could have been horse-drawn, you know, who knows. But I wish I knew the history on it, but $500 for the Cultipacker. We're going to make it into a 3-point Cultipacker, and that should help a lot. You want to have a 3-point so you can back up in them food plots, because you'll never be able to turn around in some of them. In some of the areas you'd be breaking the tongue off, unless you got a four-wheeler. So let's get started and see what the outcome is. Yeah, getting these braces cut off. That old metal. Don't need them anyway. This is so old. It's got square nuts on it. I don't think my nuts are square though. This does got square nuts and bolts. This is modern technology versus old technology. Okay. Oh, we'll have this hitch off in a little bit. That up out of there. Oh, hopefully something. There, we got it off. Modern technology. That's probably turn of the century. I bet you that's old square nuts like that. They haven't used that kind of nut for a long time. But as I say, modern technology in the right hand, old technology in the left hand. Come together. Modern wins out over old. Okay, there we got the old hitch off. Now, like I said, that was probably pulled by a horse at one time, or a real small tractor. So, as they do in the old commercials, in the scrap pile. Little Hollywood there for you. Yep. Moving right along. Yeah. You see these trophies on the wall? Back in my younger days, in my smarter days, when I got pissed off about my motorcycle, I'd go out and tear it apart. That's the proof of the pudding. Award-winning motorcycles, way before these so-called bikers are today. I never went to a bar that said, "Bikers welcome." Any bar I went to, they said, "Get your ass out and don't come back." But that's what you got to shop for. If I could change a motorcycle in to go to 140 miles an hour and put every wrench on it, I can make a Cultipacker go 5 miles an hour in a dirt field. So, let's get to going. Watch your feet. tore apart. You notice there's no instruction. I'm not a lead Tiffany guy. I'm a tear it apart, screw it up, do it over again if you have to guy. But I'm a guy, my teeth are falling out, my hair's turned gray, and that's who I am. I don't go to the beautician and critique myself, my vocabulary, or my facial appearances. Too much of that bullshit going on today. Way too much. Let the welder go. The blade getting wore down, so I just have to break the rest of it off. Definitely want to wear safety glasses when you're running that thing. Yeah, I can get the rest of that broke off right there. You know, I found out a thing in life, a lot of people, a lot of these so-called experts and stuff, all they do is do a photo op. They don't ever do any work themselves. Somebody else does their labor for them. In my industry, in the home building, that's all that is. Home builders don't even own a hammer. But boy, they know how to play golf. It's just a little smidgen. Oh, pretty tight, right there. Do a little bit of grinding up there. Pretty perfect. Take that burr off, that's what's holding me up right there. There we go. Just like downtown. Do a little welding, get this bracket that we just chopped off on the chop saw. Get it welded in the middle of that. I'm not going to weld it super well right now. I'm just going to get it in place so it's there. When I was in high school, that's when you went to high school to learn something. You weren't a jerk off. You took your belt, your shirt in, you wore your belt. You learned how to weld. You learned how to do something other than email bullshit or text message somebody. You learned something that could make you a living if you had to. More of you young people ought to learn something in high school other than how to friggin' float through class and run an email service. Yeah, matter of fact, I was down 2 credits when I come to graduation, and the football coach made me weld up some stuff for the football team. And I worked on it for like 4 hours a day at high school, probably forced labor. But I graduated. Flunked 2nd grade though. You know, after looking at this frame, this must have been made a long time ago. For the simple fact, there wasn't one weld on this. It's all bolted together. It would have been easier today just to weld it. Apparently they didn't have welders back in that day, or how they had to do it was heat it up and forge it together, because this was not, no welds on this frame on anything. It was all bolted together, which must have took a long time to drill all those holes when you could have just jigged it up and welded it. History lesson 101 gives you an idea how old this thing is, but it's going to roll around on the dirt. But you talk about bow hunting, you got to be observant. Observe the things around you like this with no welds on it, all until now. So that could be a good thing and a bad thing. We'll find out, but I think it'll work. I mean, they just didn't have welders back in them days. So be observant. Makes you a better hunter too. Jesse James, eat your heart out. see this yellow doodad here? That's the bearing. That's a oak, piece of oak. And the back of it's got a grease zerk drilled into it. That's how they used to do these. And they still, brilliant Cultipackers, I still seen some did it. But now they'll put a greaseless bearing there. But this will work just like the old wagon wheels when you put axle grease on the wagon wheels. You had an oak wheel and you just took the spindle and you put axle grease on it. Same way here. It's not going to do a whole lot of RPMs and you're only going to use it for a little bit in your operation. Works just fine. Part of history though. This is American ingenuity right here. Of course Steve Forbes and the guy from Apple, they were pretty inventive too on those computers. But I suppose this was primitive, but this was a good deal at the time. Okay, we got to drill 2 holes to these brackets for these big mounting pins. So we'll get them drilled, put a little oil on it. Alright, got 1 hole through there. 10 goes through there. 1 more of them to do that. Put that up, put that up. 1 more hole drilled. This is for the front pin that you're going to need. That's what's going to pin it onto the tractor. Okay. That's done. That's here. Yeah, let's see if we can get this jigged up a little bit. Everything comes together. I don't know. Might have to. That don't quite fit that. Might have to grind a little bit of that. Any luck, that'll fit. Well, second time. There we go. Pin in to that one. Let's see where we can tighten this down. Get this little more lined up. This is real time building too, folks. This is Sunday afternoon. Oh. There's how it's going to be. Your 3-point. Got your 3-point all mocked up. All I got to do is weld it up. And I don't know, probably took a couple hours to take that old hitch off. Had some spare parts laying around. But now, as you can see, you got your 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Got your Cultipacker ready to go. Hook it onto the tractor. Probably got about by the time I get it welded up there, probably another half hour worth of welding. But all the fabrication's done, and you'll be able to back the tractor right up to it and be ready to rock and roll. American ingenuity. When I go out to plant that food plot, I'll have a little bit more of me in it. And I'm not planting these food plots in a sense to assure me to kill anything. I'm just planting food plots to feed the wildlife and having fun doing that. So it's not nothing about killing. This has nothing about killing. This is just using your skills that God gave you and you learned as you grew up. Wish more people would do that, especially the younger people and some of the old people too. So, all right, that's it from the shop.
Success.
Yep. That'll be a lot stronger because with that bolt in there, you're not going to pull that bolt through there. bare hands. Bullshits with the best of them.
There it is.
Now I put a washer on that motherfucker and then tighten that fucker down. Weld that down, a couple welds here, a couple welds there. We got this Cultipacker. No, that's it from the non-typical Norwalkian 3-point Cultipacker, made on a Sunday afternoon. Well, there it is. April 30th, the next day. Got it all painted up. It's ready to rock and roll. Spaced it out more even. Had some funky spacing there, and went and got some new spacers and spaced it out so it'll be more equal. Anyhow, take it to the auction this week, probably sell it for $1,000. That's the way society is today. Now, I'm not interested in selling it. I got what I wanted, and all the parts came almost free. So I gotta go turkey hunting. So, Cultipacker done. Next time you'll see it, it'll be in the field.